Hello everyone, now in this PPT we are going to learn the last type of rectifier, that is a full wave bridge type of rectifier. So now we have already covered two types, that is half wave and the first type of full wave, that is center tapped. Now we will learn about the full wave bridge rectifier. So here is a circuit diagram and input output waveforms of a full wave bridge rectifier. As it is a kind of full wave rectifier, it will rectify the waveform for both the half cycles of the input signal, that is for positive half as well as for negative half. So bridge rectifier, why it is termed as bridge rectifier? So here it is a circuit diagram of the bridge rectifier. Due to its construction and connections of diodes, it is termed as a bridge rectifier. So here you can see, similar to the center tap rectifier, we have the transformer, primary and secondary, at the input of the rectifier circuit. This secondary of the transformer is now connected to a circuit which is nothing but the anti-parallel connections of diodes. As this diodes, you can see over here there are four types of diodes connected back to back, that is D1, D2, D3 and D4. These four diodes which are connected in the anti-parallel mode will form a circuit, and that circuit is termed as a bridge circuit. So due to these connections of diodes, this rectifier is called as a bridge type of rectifier. So here you can see diode D1 and diode D2, diode D1 and diode D3, which are anti-parallel to each other or which are opposite to each other, are connected in a same direction, that is P and N of the diode, or anode and cathode of the diode are connected in the same way. Similarly, you can see diode D2 and diode D4 are anti-parallelly connected, means the anode and cathode of diode D2 and D4 are connected in the same way. So now this type of connection forms a bridge connection, and that is why the rectifier is bridge rectifier. Now we will learn how this rectifier operates, or how this circuit gives us the output waveform. We will see that. So here is the input waveform, which is nothing but a AC signal which is going to the transformer. Now from the transformer secondary, this AC signal will start traveling through this bridge rectifier circuit. So here you can see there are solid lines and the dotted line arrows present over here. So this solid line indicates the direction of the sine wave traveling through the diode D1 and D3 as they are connected in the same direction, and this dotted line indicates the direction of the sine wave traveling through the diode D2 and D4 as they are anti-parallelly connected in same direction. Here we have point A, B, C and D, which forms the network connection for these four types of diodes. Now we will see how the diode, or how this diode reacts to the input AC signal. Here you can see there is plus minus sign, and here also minus plus, means during the traveling of this AC signal, initially this point becomes positive with respect to this point, and during the traveling of the negative half cycle of this waveform, the lower point becomes positive with respect to the upper point, that is the upper point becomes negative. Now we will see the operation of this circuit during the positive half cycle, that is we will divide the operation in two halves, that is positive half cycle and negative half cycle. So we will see what happens during the positive half cycle of the input AC signal. Now as the positive half cycle of the input AC signal comes across the secondary winding, this point becomes positive with respect to this point, that is this point becomes negative. Now as the AC signal travels over here, the direction of the traveling of this signal is denoted by this solid arrow. It comes over here and enters the point A. Through the point A, the sine wave goes to the diode D1. As the positive of the sine wave is coming across diode D1, the P type or the anode of diode D1 is coming first, then the cathode. So the positive half of the AC signal makes the diode D1 forward bias. As diode D1 becomes forward bias, it starts conducting. Now the wave travels through point B, travels like this, which is shown by a solid arrow, comes over here across the load RL. Now load RL gives us the voltage VL, which is positive with respect to this terminal. Now this waveform, or the positive half of the input AC signal, travels through RL. You have to follow the solid line now, and goes through this path. Through this path it goes over here and enters at the point D. From the point D, it goes to the diode D3. As the positive half comes across the diode D3, this solid line you have to see, so this diode D3 becomes forward bias. So now, according to the travelling path of this solid line in this bridge circuit, the two diodes are now forward biased, that is diode D1 and D3 are forward biased, and from D3 it travels through point C and then it ends over here, that is at the negative terminal, that is at the negative portion, and it goes like this into this positive point, and again the travelling continues until and unless the AC signal is passing through this transformer. That is, now what has happened is the path of the AC signal is formed over here. The travelling path of AC signal is formed over here initially, which is shown by a solid line. That is, this path is now due to the positive half of the AC signal, or this portion is due to the positive half of the sine wave. The path is from this point, that is positive point, to point A, from point A to point B, that is through diode D1, from point B to RL, from RL to point D, from D to diode D3, D3 to point C, and from C back to the secondary of the transformer. This path continues until and unless input signal is given to the transformer, and due to this path diode D1 and D3 are forward biased and they gives us the output which is shown by this diagram. Here you can see we get a positive half cycle during the positive portion of the input AC signal due to diode D1 and D3, which are now in the conducting mode. Now, if diode D1 and D3 are conducting and we get such type of output, what about diode D2 and D4? During this path of solid line, diode D2 and D4 are in reverse biasing mode due to their opposite connection. Diode D2 and D4 remains in the reverse biasing mode and they do not conduct. Diode D2 and D4 remains in reverse biasing and they do not conduct during the positive half of the AC signal. Now, when the negative half portion of the AC signal appears across the secondary of the transformer, what happens then? When the negative portion appears across the secondary of the transformer, at that time this point becomes negative with respect to this point. This point becomes negative with respect to this point, and now negative waveform starts travelling over here. Now negative waveform starts travelling over here. Now the travel path of negative waveform is given by a dotted line. Travel path of a negative waveform is given by a dotted line. So you can see over here the negative portion which is coming over here of the input AC signal is travelling through this dotted line. It comes over here, then from here it goes through this path, that is dotted line you have to follow. From here it goes to point D, from here it goes to the point D, from here it goes to the point C, that is dotted line you have to follow. From point C it goes to the diode D2. Now the diode D2 is in the forward biasing mode due to the negative half cycle of the input AC signal. Now diode D2 is in the forward biasing mode due to the negative half of the input AC signal. Now the wave forward biases D2 travels through point B. From point B it goes across the load RL. From load RL, this dotted line you have to follow, it comes again across this path. From this path it enters over here. From this path it connects to the point D. From point D it goes to diode D4. From point D it goes to the diode D4. Now diode D4 is also forward biased due to the negative half of the input AC signal. Now this diode D4 is forward biased, which gives us the output. Now the waveform, that is dotted waveform, travels through the point A, then it goes in this direction, that is dotted line you have to follow, and then again it goes to the transformer secondary and continues the same path as long as the input AC signal is on or the input to the transformer is on. Now we get the two paths over here, one by the solid line and one by the dotted line. So again I will tell you the two paths, how the waveform travels. Initially only the positive half signal is going to this circuit. When the positive half signal goes to this circuit, this terminal becomes positive with respect to this terminal. Now, the positive AC signal travels through this solid line, comes to point A, then makes the diode D1 forward bias, travels through this path, goes to the load RL, comes across this path. From here it goes to the point D, from point D it goes to D3, making D3 forward bias, and from point C it travels like this, and again it follows its original path. This is how the cycle is repeated until and unless the input AC signal is going to this circuit. This path gives us the waveform due to the forward biasing of D1 and D3, which are shown in this particular waveform. Now, next path is followed, or next path is created by a negative half cycle. When negative half cycle comes across the secondary of transformer, this point becomes negative with respect to this, and then the dotted path start to travel. That is, from this portion the signal comes over here, goes to the point C, then it makes D2 forward bias, goes to the point D. This dotted line then travels to RL, comes over here, from here it goes to the point D again, then it goes to D4, making D4 forward bias, goes to the point A. From here it comes back to its original position and follows the path until and unless the input AC signal is given to it. Now we get a waveform due to D2 and D4 during the negative half. That is, this kind of waveform we get during the negative half cycle of the input AC signal due to diode D2 and D4 forward bias. That is, you have to keep in mind, during positive half cycle D1 and D3 are forward bias, while during negative half cycle D2 and D4 are forward bias. That is, the anti-parallel mode is followed by this circuit, and that is why the name is given as bridge rectifier, and full wave, as it rectifies the full waveform. So the combined effect of this two waveform is nothing but this type of waveform, which is rectified output voltage or current waveform. So this is how we get the full wave output in the case of bridge rectifier. Hope you all have got the working of bridge wave rectifier. So now you may have a question that why we learn these different types of rectifier. So as these rectifiers are classified into different types, according to their need and applications, we have to connect them in the particular application or particular circuit, because the efficiency of these three kind of rectifier is different from each other. That is, we know efficiency is output by input ratio. So each kind of this three types of rectifier gives us the different efficiency, and according to the need of this circuits in particular applications, we have to use them accordingly. So here is a short description of the working of the bridge rectifier. That is, 4 diodes we have used. Then step down transformer is used. So during the positive half cycle D1 and D3 are forward biased, and during the negative half cycle D2 and D4 are in forward bias, and we get the positive as well as negative half cycle rectified at the output due to the 4 diodes effect. So these are again the 3 terms related to the full wave bridge rectifier. Average voltage. So average voltage is same as that of the full wave center tap, that is 0.636 Vm, and Vm is again the same, that is 2 Vm by pi. Current rating of full wave center tap and bridge is same, that is 0.5 IDC. Peak inverse voltage here is only Vm, peak inverse voltage is only Vm, and the efficiency of bridge rectifier is 81.2%. So this was all regarding the bridge wave rectifier. So these are the merits and demerits of full wave rectifier using center tap transformer and bridge wave rectifier. So this is a comparison of the 3 types of rectifier. These are the common points or particulars, and here is the 3 types of rectifiers: half wave, center tapped, full wave, and bridge rectifier. So these are the 8 comparison points. Number of diodes you already know, that is 1 diode for half wave, 2 for full wave, and 4 for bridge. Peak inverse or peak input voltage is Vm for half wave, Vm for full wave, and Vm. That is, input voltage is same for all of 3, that is Vm, Vm, and Vm maximum. Average voltage is different for 3 of them. Average voltage is nothing but the voltage which comes at the output of the waveform, denoted by VDC. So for half wave this voltage is Vm by pi, that is this Vm divided by pi. For center tapped it is 2 Vm by pi because 2 diodes are used, and for bridge also it is 2 Vm by pi. DC diode current denoted by IDC. So for half wave we have same current as that of the input, that is denoted by IDC. For center tap, that current is half, that is 0.5 IDC, and for bridge also the current is half that of the input, that is 0.5 IDC. Peak inverse voltage, for half wave it is Vm, full wave 2 Vm, and for bridge it is again Vm. Ripple frequency, for half wave it is FM, full wave 2 FM, and bridge FM. Ripple frequency is nothing but the frequencies of the output signal. What is ripple? That we are going to learn in the next part. Efficiency, so efficiency is the ratio of output by input. So for half wave efficiency is 40.6%, full wave it is 81.2, and for bridge also it is 81.2. Ripple factor, this also we are going to learn ahead, that is 1.21 for half wave, 0.482 for full wave, and 0.482 for bridge also. So this was all regarding the part 1 of chapter 2, that is the block diagram, along with the explanation of first block, that is rectifier. So now in all of these 3 presentations we have learned rectifiers in details, that is we have learned their circuit diagram, input output voltage waveforms, we have learned their technical terms, and we have compared all of the 3 types of rectifiers. So this ends our first part of the chapter, that is the power supply chapter first part, that is a explanation of rectifier is now end over here. So in all of these 3 rectifiers and in the block diagram, if any one of you have any queries or any doubts, you can WhatsApp me or you can ask me in the comments below in the YouTube lectures. And now after this we will solve one assignment based on this first part, and after that assignment we will go for the second part of this chapter, that is power supplies. Thank you.